Nina McNeely.
Oh, you look good.
How are you doing, sweetie?
Good. How are you, my darlings?
We're good. We're good. We're in a very dark theater now.
I love it.
You can see. Very dramatic.
Yeah.
How has the journey been?
It feels weird to say, but I think some of us have been thriving during this time, you know, which is kind of fucked up, I guess. But, you know, I think we've had time to like reflect on what we really want to do, you know, instead of just being in the insanity of busyness,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose track that way when you're just so damn busy.
Yeah.
And what kind of radical changes did you make to your life?
Well, I started taking ballet every day,
No
which is
way.
crazy. Nothing in a million years would have caused that but this. So that's interesting. Been doing some gardening. I've been cooking a lot, you know. Yeah, but I feel like because of that, I've been able to get like more in touch with myself, you know. At the beginning of it, I was feeling a little like creatively confused, and I was, you know, asking the universe, like, how do I get back in touch with like my old self when nobody knew who I was, I had no money, and I made really creative, risky stuff, you know? Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't mean that literally. But it worked. You know, and I think I've taken a big break from like social media and stuff too, and just trying to like get back in touch with like what are my influences and inspirations, because I don't think it's all this new modern stuff.
Yeah.
Like for the Black Midi video that I just did, like when I listened to the song, I went on a walk because there's this beautiful park by my house with this little lake. It's very sweet. And I was like, just see what happens in your mind, you know, and don't try and control it or whatever. Yeah. And literally the first thing I thought of was this like claymation mascot for Domino's Pizza from the 90s. That was like, he was called the Noid, and he wore this like red skin tight suit with these bunny ears. And I'd have no idea why I thought of that. I probably haven't even seen a picture of him since I was a kid, you know? Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why I thought of it, but we're going to go with it. And then that's why the dancers are wearing those outfits.
That's incredible.
So I don't know. I'm just trying to like let things in and stop analyzing so much, you know?
I think you were already on a point where you had the feeling that you wanted to do something different.
I was actually really not really focusing on directing, and I'm not sure if I wanted to like even do it more. Mm-hmm. Just because I was kind of over the scene, or just having like too many cooks in the kitchen, and by the end of it, like the idea is not yours or theirs, it's some diluted, boring.
Yeah, it becomes very blurry, like muddy water.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I guess that the self-sabotaging part of the industry is what really messes a lot of things up, which I don't think people really realize. Yeah. Like how worried and insecure and, you know, people want to be relevant and all of these things, that it's actually a lot of insecurities that like mess things up.
Yeah, it's a very negative way of looking at a creative process, that you don't want it to be or it needs to be.
Yeah, like there's all of these restrictions and limits and stuff.
It's very based on impossibilities instead of the possibilities, and I think that's just very annoying, like a very annoying way to work.
Yeah, and like there was a point with the video where we were like, with the Black Midi video, where we were seeing if we were going to get like try and get some sort of sponsorship or something, but the band was like, those companies don't really like working with us because we don't use social media. And so they can't like, oh, if we're going to give you money, you have to do this post and all of these things. Yeah. And I was like, that's awesome. You guys didn't get mixed into all of that. You know what I mean? I think they get to stay being themselves because they're not getting pressured. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I still put time and like my personal energy into choreography jobs, but there's a big difference between like elevating a director's vision as a choreographer, which I feel like I'm really good at that. Like I can nurture someone else's project and like really try and help them achieve that. And then also if I get notes and things, it's just like not that personal,
Right.
someone else's project, you know? So, and it's just less time. Like at the end of the shoot day for a choreography job, I go home and I never deal with it again. You know what I mean? As a director, it's the prep process, and then you got to find the team, and then you got to kind of oversee everything, and then there's the whole post period. So you're in something for like even a month or two sometimes.
Yeah.
Just, which is insane sometimes, just for this like 3 minutes of something. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like inspired again now after doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of want to dive more into this like psychedelic, surreal kind of world where I can like push some technical things, because I feel like I miss that a little bit.
Yeah, because you were really into that, right? Like the editing and the effects and the light stuff as well.
Yeah, but I think I went through a period where I was like, okay, I'm done with sitting at my computer all day, every day, like a troll. But it was worth it during this last one. But it was a strange experience because usually I'm a little ADD and I like a documentary playing in the background or like a podcast or something. Like for the first time in my life, I just worked for hours in complete silence.
Wow.
And I was like, because my brain needed that much focus or something.
Is that a thing where when you work, you need to listen to stuff? Because I didn't do that too. I put on the news or stuff when I work.
Yeah, I almost need like a bunch of noise to focus, which is the opposite of what most people need.
Yeah, I think we all have that. I can also not live in complete silence.
But I think I was really surprised at how like clear-headed and more creative it made me, you know.
So this is a new chapter.
Yeah.
Sober, silent Nina.
Sober, silent, ballet taking Nina.
Who is this woman? We need to come and save you.
But are you not like mostly, I guess, in your house now, or how is it in LA? Do you still like go around? Are there events? Is stuff happening?
I mean, I think like small groups of friends are seeing each other the whole time, you know, like, and we're still doing work. Like I did do quite a few gigs, and I did one amazing one for a commercial where they shot it in Hong Kong and Tokyo and LA, and I just did choreography from Zoom.
Wow.
And they had like an assistant there that demonstrated it, and I was like, I can get into this. But it was like an overnight shoot, and I can't tell you how impossible it is to stay awake when you're in your own house.
Right.
Oh shit.
Literally all the like producers were falling asleep and we had to be like, hey. So that's weird, not having the energy of like people on set.
Do you feel difference in the mentality in the city?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, I guess even just because of COVID, even like doing jobs, like you can't like call someone the night before and be like, you have to be there, because like you have to get a test and you have to do a thing and everything. So I feel like there's definitely a new respect for people's time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and people are taking charge of their own time, I think. So even though it's like we're all kind of desperate to start working again, I think we've also like changed our standards for like how we want to live. Because I think if you were really stressed out before this happened and then you got to actually relax, it's like you don't want to go back to that psychotic, you know, nonstop lifestyle. Like I'm definitely going to be more picky.
Yeah. Would you say that there's a tendency of more like self-care and self-love now?
Yeah.
Because before, like if I look at or when I think back at our times in Los Angeles, that it's a very, like we were talking about it before, like it's a facade. Like this self-care is also very much of a facade in LA. Everyone is doing their drops, like the crystals are laying around, but everyone is working 24/7.
Yeah.
Everyone is tired, getting drunk after one glass of wine. So maybe it's falling more into
less destructive, maybe also like
Yeah.
work energy.
I've talked to so many people that have like stopped drinking or have a new meditation practice or like, you know, I mean, I think it's been hard for relationships and stuff, but like, you know, lots of people have started going to therapy, which going to therapy on Zoom is awesome too. You know, I started doing that and like, it's nice to, during all of this, to have someone to talk to,
Yeah.
you know, so that's been really helpful. I think people are actually taking the self-care seriously instead of pretending like they're doing it.
yeah.
It's like a green juice and then cocaine.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's LA in a nutshell.
Are you still like now connected to like the Hollywood scene in any kind of way, or is that also like you big cutoff at the moment to?
What do you mean by Hollywood scene, I guess?
I don't know, just like I guess all the celebrity stuff you were doing before.
You know, the music video realm is so oversaturated and kind of like, I mean, I don't watch music videos. Like, I don't like sit around and look for new music videos. I guess it's like, I think there're just so many that like, how long is it going to take for me to find a cool one or something like that? So I definitely am trying to focus more on like commercials and TV, but when it comes back, it's going to come back with a force, I think, you know, and that people are going to be trying to top each other with this and that. Yeah, I think that people are like fighting for who's going to be the first concerts.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to be the first big events to go down, you know, because they're going to be so memorable. You guys have been doing such amazing work too. I just saw that your post today for that incredible,
we're going deeper and deeper into the performance thing, and we dropped a little bit of like the fashion stuff, so no longer showing work at fashion weeks, but really put our work more in a theater context without necessarily making theater. And that feels so liberating to all of the sudden have time and not feel so frustrated to like, yeah, I think you recognize it from that process. Like it was very, there was so much stuff, but there was so much stress also. And I also think we don't want to work like that anymore. I think it's also a shame of the ingredients that you have.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you guys were doing performance art and kind of with under the guise of fashion. I can't imagine working in the fashion world. It's like the most sterile, fast, heartless kind of cutthroat sort of thing. But do you guys also find it sometimes scary to have too much time?
Yeah,
I
think what we had, we were really impatient, like because we're so used to making a show in a day. It was like the first week we were really like, why is nothing happening? You know, because all those performers were used to having time, and we were not.
But it's also amazing, like the amount of stuff that you create, and you're in this luxury position that you can throw out 90% of what you made. I think as a maker, that's the biggest luxury you can afford.
Exactly, because it's not so precious.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is all precious, but you select.
Yeah.
And you make choices, and you can pick the best cherries.
In stages where it just gets better and makes more sense and has more continuity and more of a story, or all of those things, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
My dear, can we continue this conversation soon?
Yes, please.
So long.
Yeah, with a glass of wine, and we make naughty plans again.
Yes, please. I would love that. And there is some talk of when Black Midi goes on tour that maybe we might work on some.
We always work on some shimmy with
we
you,
do
huh?
shimmy again.
And that would mean that I would be in London if that does happen. So then maybe I can come see you guys.
Oh yes, that would be amazing. Goodbye, dear Nina. We love you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.